Winning contracts with the government is one thing, but actually understanding which contracts are going to be beneficial for your business is a whole different ballgame. Now, my name is Divine. I'm the founder of A Short Bid. We help health and social care agencies to scale their business through government contracts. And in doing so, in the past 12 months, we've made over 170 bids. And I have personally had many conversations with some of these clients who have actually won these contracts and won these tenders, but for some reason, they found themselves to be struggling for one reason or the other. But I've categorized these reasons into 3 different areas that they did not assess before they actually went ahead to bid for a tender or went ahead to bid for a contract. So these are the 3 things that you need to make sure you do not make the same mistake on before you actually bid on the tender. Otherwise, you're going to end up wanting to rip your hair out. You're going to lose a lot of money. You're going to cause yourself and your business a lot of stress, which obviously you do not want to. In no particular order, the first reason, I'm just going to whiz through them. The first thing I've noticed is you need to understand what services are required in that contract. Now, it sounds like it's a no-brainer. It sounds like it's very obvious, but you'd be surprised how easy it is to fall into the trap of bidding. Because we understand the value of government contracts, we understand the value of tendering or public procurement. So mentally, we are ready to just cast the net out and see how much fish we can catch by just bidding. Potentially, we've read one word there. If you're a social care agency, you might see care. You bid for it. You're a housing provider. You might see accommodation. You made a bid for it because we're so desperate and keen and eager to grow our business. Or we trusted a third-party consultant, colleague, a peer, a friend, and they've recommended it to us, and we've just blindly said, do you know what? Go ahead and make a bid for it. Now, once we've now won that bid, you're in for the shock of your life because you did not take the time to actually understand what services are required. For example, if you made a bid for a care tender, did you understand if accommodation is required in that tender? Did you understand if you need to procure a building or accommodation to house the service users? Did you understand if you need to have an office there at the point of getting the contract? Did you know maybe you need to provide the meals for the service users? Maybe you need to contribute to transportation of the service users. Various elements and services required in that contract may now be required of you after you've potentially won the contract, which means now you're caught with your tails between your legs because now you have to quickly come up with some capital to cover some extra services that you realize is required on this contract. And maybe your business is not even set up or ready to actually deliver that services. Now, you either end up rushing yourself to deliver the services, trying to figure things out, and by doing so, you've delivered a poor service to a customer, and the government have noticed. Now, you've lost reputation, which is bad for business. No one wants to lose reputation, especially with the government or the local authority where your office is set up, because that is the base of your office, the base of your business, and that's going to be your bread and butter. Now you have to move into a different location. That's just me building a story. There's so many categories and scenarios that can come from you simply not understanding the services required from that particular contract. I mean, every single nitty-gritty of that tender or of that contract before you've made a bid for it. If it requires to have specific types of staff, maybe it now requires to have nurses, but your business has never had nurses before. Now you've got to go and look at how to recruit nurses, a different recruitment strategy, and then you've got to make sure you can pay them required salary and required hourly rate. Again, the scenarios go on. So avoid costing your business more money, more headache, more stress than is needed, and actually understand what the services are needed in the contract before you bid for it. Number 2, again, in no particular order, but this one, again, is something that you would think is common sense, but we all potentially have fallen or can fall victim to this. You need to understand how much government, the council, the NHS are paying you for the services. In other words, what's the pricing rate? If you're going to deliver domiciliary care, what is the ceiling rate? What's the minimum? What's the maximum? So typically, they have a budget. The value, the tender, the contract has a budget. And in some cases, they might stipulate exactly what the ceiling range is, the minimum to the maximum. And they would ask you, the provider, to determine or dictate how much you're going to offer for your services. In some cases, they may not even say anything. They'll wait for you in the mini competitions or in the bids for you to actually tell them how much you're going to be offering. This is key because you do not want to undersell yourself lower than the ceiling or lower than the budget, too far lower, because at that point in time, once you set your bid and you click submit, and potentially you're then awarded a contract, which may also be on the basis that, right, these people are very cheap. Once you've won the tender, they've included you on the framework or they've given you the contract, you're not going to be able to change it. Potentially the only way to change it would be in the next calendar year when there's another pricing review. But you basically set your business up there, agree to a price that you were never comfortable with. Maybe you're working with a different authority altogether. One authority pays you X amount, and you just assumed that this other neighboring authority will pay you the same amount, and you've made a bid on the contract, you've joined the tender, and now you're surprised that, wow, this rate is very low. I can't make any margin because my staff salary is high, the insurance, the expenses, the mileage, whatever the scenario is, because you don't take the time to understand the pricing that is offered for the tender. This again applies to all sectors, but even supported living, for the accommodation, how much are they going to pay you? If you're doing temporary accommodation, what is the nightly rates they're offering on the contract? Transportation, what are they paying for the mileage you're going to be traveling? This applies irrespective of the sector. Understand what the government's budget is, what the pricing ceiling is, and make sure that actually you're confident and you're comfortable accepting the price they're offering, and you can still make a good margin and grow your business with that margin. Now, that's number 2. Number 3. Now, there's a few more, but I've really summarized everything into the top 3 because it keeps coming up. Number 3, logistics. Logistics is quite a broad word because it covers a lot of different things, but I'm going to simplify it. So again, because we tend to fall into the trap of bidding. We want to grow our business. We want to scale our business. We're so hungry to win government contracts, to get more revenue, get more work, get more referrals, get more clients. We end up just bidding. Now, the problem with that is, especially when you're bidding, you end up bidding on locations that are places you probably haven't even heard of in your life, but you've just seen that as a tender, there's a contract there. It's for supported living because you want to provide supported living services now. Bid for it. It's okay. When we get a house there, when we get a staff there. The problem with that is, once you made a bid for it, you might have even spent resources, energy, whatever, capital to get that tender, and then realize that you don't have the logistics set up already, or you're not even prepared to actually mobilize and grow your business or move your business to that area. Whatever the scenario is, it might be you don't need to acquire property there. You're not ready for it because you didn't actually know or calculate the financial logistics of actually getting a property there. You potentially need to travel there. You might have clients there and you haven't budgeted the distance of this location to where your office is. Or maybe you need to now set up a new office there. You haven't budgeted how much staff, if you have any staff in there, what the cost of the office is to set up. Because in some cases, a lot of people that end up getting a contract, getting office in order to get a contract, and this office, they're tied into a long-term contract. You're paying every single month and they haven't got a single client. Again, logistics is a broad word. Do you have staff in there? Do you have a recruitment plan? You've now got this tender, got this contract. The council expects you to start on this date, but you assumed that yes, your staff will be able to travel. At that point in time, now the contracts come up. You're now stuck with your tail between your legs because you haven't got any staff in there. There's no recruitment plan. There's nothing in there. You've just got a contract based on hope, and now potentially you've now lost your reputation. You've now basically lost value with the government, and you've been chucked off the contract or chucked off the framework, or you basically dropped rank because you're not ready to take on any work. So make sure the logistics matter first, or you consider logistics before you actually bid.